Hey everyone, my name is Josh and welcome back to your fourth stimulus package in news update. We have a lot of news to get into in today's video, but first, if you would like to receive 1 free stock from Robinhood and 2 free stocks from Webull, valued up to over $2,000, make sure to go ahead and claim them by clicking my links, which you will find in the description box below. Okay, so inflation once again set a nearly 40-year record, notching a 7% spike from just 1 year earlier. Overall, inflation also jumped another 0.5% from November. Year over year, gas has been up 49.6%, fuel oil has been up 41%, used cars 37%, rental cars 36%, hotels 27.6%, utility gas 24%, steak 21.4%, beef and bacon up 18.6%, furniture up 13.8%, tires up 12.4%, new cars up 12%, eggs and suits up 11%, chicken up 10%, fish and ham also up 10%, restaurants up 6.6%, and then rent, of course, up 3.8% as well. And well, if you're looking for some good news, at least alcohol is only up 2.3%, ice cream is up just 1.6%, and hot dogs are actually down by 0.6%. So perhaps maybe we can still afford hot dogs. In Build Back Better news, even though the president and Joe Manchin have been having a cooling off period where not many talks have been had, a top economist for the White House said yesterday that parts of the bill could still become reality. In a statement during the Council on Foreign Relations, Cecilia Rouse said, "Build Back Better was a package. It was a way to put a bow around a lot of important investments. The president will still be looking for ways to make them happen, maybe not in that particular bow, but these are important investments that we need to make if we're going to continue growth." They also noted that it could take weeks to craft a viable package that satisfies Manchin without losing progressives, but they believe that a package in the magnitude of at least $1 trillion is certainly possible. Of course, after this recent inflation data, it's unlikely that Manchin is going to be encouraged to spend much more. Let's wait and see. Meanwhile, a day removed from President Biden referring to anyone who doesn't agree with him as being the likes of Jefferson Davis, Republicans were obviously pretty infuriated. Here's Republican Senator Ted Cruz calling Biden's attempt to nuke the filibuster in order to pass voter rights legislation a corrupt power grab.
Good morning. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are desperate to break the Senate rules and try to engage in a corrupt power grab. This bill that they're pushing, the Corrupt Politicians Act, would undermine democracy across the country. It takes laws adopted by democratically elected legislatures and subjects them to the arbitrary veto of politically radical, unelected bureaucrats at the Department of Justice. President Biden has nominated hard-left ideologues to the Department of Justice, including 2 of the leading advocates of abolishing the police in the country. And what Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are proposing is putting those ideologues in charge of election laws across this country. What Schumer and the Democrats are trying to do is strike down every single voter ID law in the country, even though 80% of Americans support them, even though a large majority of African American voters support voter ID laws. Democrats have decided that voter fraud benefits them politically, and they're willing to go to any length to tear down the reasonable common sense protections that protect the integrity of our elections. They're willing to go so far as breaking the rules of the Senate to end the filibuster. Now, if you want to know the consequences of that, you may perhaps be skeptical of Republicans. If you're not a Republican, you may be from a different political view. So I want to point you to someone who's not a Republican, assessing the consequences of what Chuck Schumer is proposing right now. That person is a person by the name of Charles Schumer, who in 2005, March 16th, 2005, said about nuking the Senate rules and ending the filibuster. Here's what Chuck Schumer said. They want, because they can't get their way, to change the rules midstream, to wash away 200 years of history. They want to make this country into a banana republic where if you don't get your way, you change the rules. It'll be doomsday for democracy, if we do. Chuck Schumer said ending the filibuster would be doomsday for democracy and turn America into a banana republic. He was telling the truth in 2005, and it's still true today.
Arkansas Senator Tim Cotton had similar thoughts about Biden and Schumer attempting to nuke the filibuster, especially when not long ago they were in favor of keeping it. Here is Senator Cotton using Schumer's very own words against him.
Right now, we are on the precipice of a constitutional crisis. We're about to step into the abyss. I want to talk for a few minutes why we're on that precipice and why we're looking into that abyss. Let me first ask a fundamental question. What is the crisis that calls for the undoing of 2 centuries of tradition? Are senators merely doing their jobs as legislators, responding to a generalized public calling for the abolition of the filibuster? Clearly not. It is not the American people at large who are demanding detonation of the nuclear option. The nuclear option is being pushed largely by the radioactive rhetoric of a small band of radicals who hold in their hands the political fortunes of the president. Constitutional scholars will tell us that the reason we have these rules in the Senate, unlimited debate, 2/3 to change the rules, the idea that 60 have to close off debate, is embodied in the spirit and rule of the Constitution. That is what the Constitution is all about, and we all know it. It is the Senate where the Founding Fathers established a repository of checks and balances. It's not like the House of Representatives, where the majority leader or the speaker can snap his fingers and get what he wants. On important issues the Founding Fathers wanted, and they were correct in my judgment, that the slimmest majority should not always govern. The Senate is not a majoritarian body. The bottom line is very simple. The ideologues in the Senate want to turn the Founding Fathers, what the Founding Fathers called the cooling saucer of democracy, into a rubber stamp of dictatorship. They want to make this country into a banana republic, where if you don't get your way, you change the rules. Are we going to let them? It will be a doomsday for democracy if we do. I, for one, hope and pray that it will not come to this. But I assure my colleagues, at least speaking for this senator, I will do everything I can to prevent the nuclear option from being invoked, not for the sake of myself or my party, but for the sake of this great republic and its traditions. Those are powerful words, but they're not mine. Every word of my speech today was originally spoken by our esteemed colleague, the senior senator from New York, Chuck Schumer. Senator Schumer spoke so eloquently in defense of the Senate's rules, customs, and traditions when the fortunes of his party looked a little different. My, how times have changed. Now it's Senator Schumer's fingers that are hovering over the nuclear button, ready to destroy the Senate for partisan advantage. Think about it. The narrowest majority in Senate history wants to break the Senate rules to control how voters in every state elect senators. Could there be a better argument to preserve the Senate's rules, customs, and traditions? So before it's too late, let us reflect on the wise and eloquent words of Senator Schumer. Words that are as true today as they were when he spoke them, even if Senator Schumer is singing a different tune today.
Again, Senate Majority Leader Schumer vowed to pass voter rights legislation by January 17th, so this will be a developing story to follow throughout this weekend. In some other news, it's also being noted that the IRS is currently facing a huge backlog as the new tax season begins. As it currently stands, they have more than 11 million unprocessed tax returns left over from 2021, so for those of us expecting a fast tax refund this year, it's probably just not going to happen. Just like last year, the backlogs continue, and many experts believe the delays will be even worse this year. On January 24th, the IRS will begin accepting tax returns for the 2021 tax year, so obviously the earlier you submit your returns the better, but either way, it's probably going to take a while for it to get processed. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Again, if you would like to receive 1 free stock from Robinhood and 2 free stocks from Webull, make sure to claim them both by clicking my links in the description box below. So once again, I hope that everyone has a great and safe rest of their day, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.